This story is called Delivered. Driving for Uber Eats has become my daily routine, a way to make ends meet while I pursued my dreams. Most nights were uneventful, a flurry of food orders, a series of brief interactions, and the hum of my engine. But one fateful night, I received an order that would forever alter my perception of reality. The address led me to the outskirts of town, where the road seemed to disappear late into the encroaching forest. An unsettling stillness hung in the air, broken only by the chirping of distant birds. The house was on an ancient Victorian, its once grand architecture now worn and weathered. The windows, dark voids against the pale facade. They seemed to watch my every move. Brushing aside the shiver that crept up my spine, I gathered the bag containing the customer's order and approached the front porch. The flickering porch light cast eerie shadows that danced across the overgrown bushes, conjuring visions of lurking creatures. My knock echoed through the silence, a hollow sound that seemed to pierce the darkness. Seconds stretched into minutes, but there was no answer. Just as I was about to leave, the creak of the door's hinges caught my attention. The door swung open slowly, revealing a dimly lit interior that seemed to shallow the porch light's feeble glow. "Hello?" I called, my voice trembling slightly. "Uber Eats delivery?" No response. I couldn't complete the delivery unless I had the customer's PIN, and this was a $20 tip. The interior remained cloaked in shadows, as if daring me to step inside. Taking a deep breath, I mustered my courage and crossed the threshold. The door closed behind me with a resounding thud, and a chill suddenly raced down my back. The air was thick with an otherworldly stillness, broken only by the faint sound of a grandfather clock's rhythmic ticking. The hallway stretched ahead, disappearing into impenetrable darkness. I hesitated, my instincts urging me to flee, but my curiosity pushed me forward. The flickering candlelight led me to a dining room where a table was set with antique dishes and tarnished silverware. The smell of decaying food hung heavy in the air, making my stomach churn. Then a chair scraped against the wooden floor. I turned to see a figure seated at the head of a table, a woman with hair as black as night and eyes that seemed dead inside. "I've been waiting for you," she whispered, her voice a haunting sound that seemed to wrap around me. My heart pounded in my chest as I took a step back, my eyes fixed on that woman. Are you the customer that ordered?" She offered a faint smile, her lips curving with an elegance that belied the sense of unease that settled over me. Not quite, but you're here now, and that's what matters." My phone buzzed in my pocket, a notification from the Uber Eats app. It was the customer, asking if I had delivered their order. I realized with a jolt that I hadn't even checked the name on the order, too focused on the strange environment I had walked into. I pulled out my phone and checked the order details. The name on the order was Sarah, and it was meant to be delivered to this address. My unease deepened. "Is your name Sarah?" Her laughter was a melodic yet chilling sound that echoed through the room. "Names are insignificant here, but you can call me that if you wish." I glanced around, my heart pounding. The shadows seemed to stretch and twist, taking on a life of their own. The air grew colder, and I felt a weight pressing down on my chest. Panic clawed at the edges of my mind as I realized I was trapped in a nightmare that defied explanation. I need to leave," I stammered, my voice barely audible. Sarah's gaze bore into mine, her eyes gleaming with an intensity. Leaving is not as simple as walking out the door, you see. You've crossed a threshold, and there's no going back. Desperation welled up within me, and I turned to flee. But the door that had brought me into the house was nowhere to be seen. Instead, the hallway stretched endlessly before me, an ever-shifting maze that seemed to mock my attempts to escape. As I ventured deeper into the house, each room became a twisted tableau of fear and despair. Whispers echoed throughout the walls, and fleeting glimpses of monstrous shapes flickered at the edge of my vision. Time seemed to lose all meaning as I wandered through the labyrinthian nightmare, a prisoner to the house's malevolent grip. Hours, days, or perhaps an eternity had passed. I couldn't tell. Exhausted and broken, I found myself back in the dining room, facing Sarah once more. Her smile had deepened, and her eyes held a hunger that sent a jolt of terror through me. "You're mine now," she murmured, her voice a seductive promise of eternal captivity. And as the candlelight flickered and the walls closed in, I realized with a sinking heart I was trapped in a nightmare from which there was no escape. A haunted house that hungered for souls and reveled in the torment of the lost.